variation of Urdhva Hastasana with 2 blocks and a strap. So place 1 block between your feet and place 1 block between your upper inner thighs, and then hold on to the strap with your hands at shoulders distance apart and lift the strap up and overhead. Let the thighs internally rotate and the outer thighs squeeze the block. So the outer thighs squeeze the inner thighs, which squeeze the block, and then lift the low belly up off the pelvis and lift the rib cage up off the abdomen. Lift the back ribs up off of the lower back. Stretch the arms up to the ceiling. Put tension on the strap. Extend the arms and legs fully. Make lots of space and length in your body here, and let the abdomen settle back towards the anterior surface, the front surface of the lumbar spine. So let the front waist move to the back waist. As your arms move back, let the waist move back. Stand right over your arches and lengthen and breathe here. Full extension in the arms and the legs. Create an ascension of the spine from bottom to top, deep inside yourself. Deep breath here, and then lower your arms down. Now we'll practice a side stretch. So stand in Tadasana, have your feet just a little bit apart, and swing your arms up first for Urdhva Hastasana. Energize, activate your legs and lengthen them up. Lift the low belly, press your shoulder blades into the rib cage, lengthen the front of your thoracic spine, and then take your left hand to your left outer hip and start to side bend over to the left, letting the hips push to the right, keeping very extended in the right arm as you bend over to the side to elongate and stretch the right ribs, the right waist. And think of adding a little sense of a back bend into this side bend. So there's no rounding or curling at all. Rather, let the thoracic spine deepen into the body towards the chest, vertebrae by vertebrae. And then open the right ribs and look up towards the top palm. Pressing the left hand into your hips, you can let your hips move to the right as you deepen the side bend to the left. Pull the thigh bones back and stay strong and long in the legs. Lengthen the anterior spine even here in this deep side flexion. And then inhale all the way up to the center, lifting both arms up. Extended legs, extended arms. And bring your right hand to the outer right hip and start to side bend over to the right. Letting your hips press to the left, keeping the thigh bones pulling back, keeping the legs energized and long. Keeping the left arm extended, and side bend to open the left side ribs, to open the left side waist. And add a sense of a back bend here in the upper spine, so the thoracic spine moves in towards the chest. Open those left ribs, stretch long through the left armpit, and lengthen the anterior spine here as you find a deeper side flexion. Legs are strong, smooth breathing. And then inhale all the way up to the center, lifting both arms up evenly. Thigh bones back, arms reaching back as the shoulder blades move forward. Long belly, and then exhale and release the arms down. Grab your 2 blocks and we'll practice a simple lunge. So stand at the front of your sticky mat and have 1 block to each side of your feet. And then stand tall right over the arches with energized legs and a long spine. And then bend down and place your hands onto the blocks and step your left foot back into a lunge. And step back far enough so that your right knee is directly over your right heel. Lift the back thigh a lot. And then pull the outer right knee back towards the hip socket. So there's a feeling of that outer right thigh gathering in towards the hip. Lift the back inner thigh up. Gather your outer hips towards each other and lengthen your spine forward. Lengthen the anterior spine. Gather the outer hips in again, especially that outer right hip pulling back and in towards the midline. Lift the back thigh even more. And then step your back foot forward. And step your right foot back now, coming into a lunge. Left knee directly over the left heel. And think of that outer left thigh pulling back from the outer knee back into the outer hip. And then gather that left outer hip in towards the midline. Lift the right thigh. Lift the inner right thigh and press back through the back heel. Gather your hips again and lengthen through the front of the spine. Once again, pull that outer left thigh back towards the hip, pulling the left hip back and in towards the midline. And then step your back foot forward. Bring your hands to hips, stretch your chest forward to come up. And now place a blanket onto your sticky mat so that your shins will have some padding, and come to hands and knees, and we'll practice some hip circles. So let your hips fall forward towards the wrists, and then let your hips move all the way to the left, and then all the way back. And continue this big hip circle, taking the hips all the way over to the right, and hips come all the way back to the center, and continue like this, circling. And you can let your elbows and arms and hands and upper spine and head and feet just feel alive and responsive and receptive to these big hip circles. So let your body move as it feels natural. Find a rhythm with your breathing and continue these big circles, taking the hips around and around. Smooth movement here as you breathe. Let your whole body be involved in this activity. Stay open and wide and lifted in the back of your throat. And then circle in the other direction, taking the hips over to the right and back and left and down, going at your own pace here, circling, exploring the outer edges of this circle, exploring the range of motion here. What's possible for you right now? Free your breath here as you move, as you circle. And now for Supta Urdhva Hastasana. Make sure that the flesh of your buttocks is pulled away from the low back, and then stretch your legs out one at a time and reach your arms up overhead but along the floor, and stretch your whole body out in this manner. Open the feet, open the toes, roll your thighs in and ground your thighs down towards the mat, and pull your rib cage long away from the legs. Lengthen and extend your arms. So pull your legs towards the feet and pull your arms towards the hands, and let your abdomen, let your whole midsection, let your lumbar receive that stretch. Breathing here as you stretch the legs and stretch the sides of your belly, stretch the arms. Relax and release any tension that's unnecessary as you lengthen. And then bend your knees and come back to neutral. And now lay down on your back for a pose that I call windshield wiper. Have your knees bent and feet flat, feet pretty wide, wider than the sitting bones. Neutral pelvis, neutral spine. Stretch your arms out to the sides at shoulder height. And then walk your feet even closer to your sitting bones and even wider. And then keeping your feet planted, lower your knees down to the right. And enjoy this gentle twist as the right knee falls more to the right and the left knee falls more to the right. Slide your shoulder blades down your back and lengthen your spine. And feel the position of the pelvis relative to the spine. And feel the position of each femur relative to the hip sockets. And then lift your knees back up to the center, feet staying grounded. And lower the knees over to the left side, letting the femurs move in the hip sockets, letting left knee heavy falling to the left, right knee heavy falling to the left, and enjoy the spinal twist. Get longer in your trunk here as you breathe. And then inhale back to the center and exhale your knees over to the right side. Inhale your knees up to the center and exhale the knees over to the left side. And then inhale back up and continue like this, moving and breathing together. And especially focus on the movement of the heads of the femurs in the hip sockets. Continuing. And see if you can go a little deeper into the pose in the next couple of rounds. And then come up to center. And now we'll practice Supta Padangusthasana 4. So have your strap nearby, extend your arms, extend your legs, roll the thighs inwards a little bit, ground the thighs. And then keep that sense of length in your trunk as you lasso the right heel, extend the right leg all the way up to the ceiling, and extend the left leg along the floor. Long in the low belly, outer right hip moves away from the right waist. You can have a bent right knee here if that's better for you. Long spine. And then grab onto the strap with the left hand only and take your right hand onto the outer right thigh hip area. And see if you can pull that outer right thigh and hip area away from the right waist. And keep that happening as you extend the right arm out to the right and let the right leg move over to the left, just about a foot. So you're starting to cross the leg over towards the left side, keeping extended in that right knee, keeping long in the right waist. And then come back to center and we'll switch sides. Now lassoing the left heel. Reach the left leg up, again bending the knee if that's better for you. And extend the right leg long, profound internal rotation at the very top of that right thigh to keep the groin relaxed. Long belly, long in the front of the spine, elbows wide, shoulder blades sliding down the back. And then grab onto the strap very close to the foot with the right hand only. And the left hand will come to the outer left hip and thigh, encouraging that outer left hip to move away from the left waist, staying long in the left waist. And extend your left arm out to the left as you pull the leg over to the right side, just about a foot. Stay open in the backs of the knees. Pulling that leg across the body, but not too much, so the sacrum should stay grounded. Enjoying the stretch in the outer thigh here. And then come back to center. And then release, bending both knees, feet flat. Reach your arms overhead and then stretch both your legs out, internally rotating at the tops of the thighs, lengthening through the arms, stretching the knees and the elbows. And start on your back again here for a simple outer hip stretch. Knees bent and feet flat, starting with a neutral pelvis. And for a moment, take your arms overhead along the floor, lengthen the armpits and the elbows. Extend the spine long and take a deep inhalation. Let the pelvis be heavy and relaxed. Be grounded in your feet. And then take your arms out to the sides and cross your right ankle over your left knee. And let the right knee open out to the right. And then lift the left foot up off the floor, which will bring your whole right leg closer to your chest. And then grab onto the back of the left thigh. So grab onto the hamstring close to the knee with both of your hands. So the right hand will go in the hole between the right leg and the left leg. And think of pressing your right knee away from your chest as you bring the right shin bone towards your collarbones. Press the right thigh away from the abdomen. And breathe into this sensation here. Pull your left knee and right ankle closer into your chest to deepen the stretch. Still pressing the right thigh and knee away from your chest. And then release and come to center, both feet on the mat. Arms out to the sides and cross the left ankle over the right knee, keeping the left knee open. And then start to take the right knee and left ankle towards the chest as you grab onto the right hamstring with both hands. Left arm reaching in the hole between the left thigh and the right thigh. And keep pressing the left knee away from you. And that's happening because the femur is turning in the hip socket. So you're finding a deep external rotation in the hip socket in order to stretch the deep hip rotators. And pull the right knee and left ankle closer into your chest. Stay long in your spine here. Don't harden or push the abdomen, but stay long in the lumbar, long in the thoracic spine. Breathing deeply here. Breathing into the sensations, relaxing into the stretch that you feel. And then release the right foot down and the left foot down. Stretch your arms out to the sides. Relax and lengthen the belly. Rest in neutral. Now we'll do belly rolling pose with a block. Laying on the back to start. Place the block between your knees, knees over hips, shins parallel to the floor. Stretch your arms out to the sides. Wake up your feet. Spread the arms, inhale, lengthen the spine, and then exhale, lower the knees down towards the right hand, squeezing the block. Pull the belly to the left, slide the shoulder blades down the back, press the backs of the hands into the floor, squeeze the block between the knees and lower the knees down a little more to the right as you roll the belly left. Stretch the left arm to the left, and then inhale, come back to center. Squeezing the block, and exhale, take the knees over to the left arm. Reach the right arm to the right, wide through the arms, shoulder blades down the back. Pull the belly to the right. Roll the belly to the right as the legs go left. Long spine here, and then inhale back to the center. And exhale the knees over to the right side, squeezing the block. Belly recedes back and slides to the left. And then inhale to the center. Exhale, take the knees over towards the left elbow as the belly rolls to the right. And inhale back to center. Exhale, recede and scoop the belly as it rolls left as the knees go right. Inhale, center, squeezing the block. Exhale, let the belly recede and roll to the right as the legs go to the left elbow. Nice and even and wide through the arms, and continue like this again to each side. Shoulder blades sliding down the back, long in the anterior spine, connecting the outer knees in towards the inner knees, towards the block. Stretch the elbows, open the hands, hug your shoulder blades into the rib cage. And then lower the feet back down to the floor and relax here. Smooth inhalation and exhaling. Remove the block from between your knees and rest in neutral. And lay down on your back now for a supine twist. Extend your arms out to the sides. Lift your knees up over your hips. And then take your knees over to the right towards your right elbow. And rest your legs down on the floor here. And then reach the left arm to the left to increase the twist. Feel your belly rolling to the left as your legs relax more and more to the right. Have a sense of widening across the collarbones, long and wide through the arms, open hands. You can ground your arms down into the floor, lengthen the spine here, and turn the belly more to the left as you relax the legs more to the right. And then bring your legs up to the center. And take your legs over towards the left elbow, knees nice and bent. Take a moment as you settle your body here. Reach the right arm to the right to help open the chest. And let your belly recede and roll to the right as you relax your legs more and more to the left. Spread through the arms, long spine, smooth breath. Roll the belly to the right. And then take the legs back to center and feet down. And now we'll practice Sukhasana, forward bend with a chair. So sit on a folded blanket as you see here and cross the right shin in front of your left, and the chair will be right in front of you. And then pull the flesh of the buttocks back so you can sit on the center of the sitting bones. Press your fingertips down into the blanket, let your shoulders go back, lift the side ribs, and create a deep internal lift from the pelvic floor all the way up through the central axis of the body. And then start to come forward, primarily hinging at the hips, but keep a soft roundness in the spine, something like a child's pose back. And then cross your forearms on the seat of the chair and rest your forehead on your forearms. Relax and release the thighs. The abdomen is gently receding back. And become quiet in the center of the brain here. Observe the sensations. See how much you can release any extraneous, unnecessary gripping that's in your buttocks or in your outer hips. Relax and release there. And then come up to sit and switch the cross of your legs, now bringing the left shin in front. Make sure your heels are not too close to your sitting bones, but rather the heels are quite far from the sitting bones, ankles under knees. Lengthen your spine using your hands as support. And then come forward and cross your forearms the other way and rest your head on your forearms. Abdomen receding. Outer hips relaxing and releasing. Becoming quiet in the center of your brain. Observe sensations as they arise and fall away. Observe all of the change in each moment. Observe all of the change inside yourself. Go deep inside yourself here, observing, listening. Smooth out your breathing. Stay present here as you breathe. And then come up and take your hands to the blanket behind you and sit tall. Stay very quiet here as you sit with a long spine. Now we'll practice a version of corpse pose called dead man pose. So make a loop in your strap and step your feet through the loop. And then tighten up the strap so that your knees are strapped together fairly snugly. And then start to lay down on your back and set up the flesh of your buttocks so that it's pulling away from the lower back, so the buttocks is releasing towards the feet side. And now make your feet quite wide, so the feet are as wide as your sticky mat, and point your toes in slightly so you're a little bit pigeon-toed. And then slide your shoulder blades down your back and take a nice deep breath in to lengthen your spine and let your arms and hands relax. And just let the femur bones relax here. So the femurs are relaxing into the hip sockets. Smooth, steady breath here. And now start to draw your knees in towards your chest so that you can reach for the strap. Loosen it up a little bit and then take the strap off your legs. And roll on to your side and come on up.